I am going to show you how to make a tea bag tip. I am DIY Nails by Wood if you want to find me on Instagram or YouTube. This is how far my nail broke. So I'm going to do a full tea bag tip. You can also do a partial to fix a chip. I'm also using my left hand to do all this, and it's painfully slow, so I will fast forward through some parts. You want to cut the tea bag as close to the width of your nail so you don't have so much excess to cut. I also prep my nails, clean them, wipe them down with rubbing alcohol, rough them up a bit so that the tea bag tip has something to really hold on to. And I like to apply the liquid halfway up the nail so that that tea bag tip has a bigger surface to hold on to. Now also, when you first apply the liquid, it's so thin that your tea bag tip could slide around. So I like to let it get a little tacky, and then as it's getting drier, I use my tweezers to slowly push down all around the nail. And I also want to make sure the tea bag itself kind of curves with the nail, because your nail is not flat. Your tip's not going to be completely flat. So if I go just a little ways at a time with the base, I can slowly push that tea bag tip all the way onto the surface of the nail and curve with it. And that's what I'm doing here by pressing on the sides. And right here, I want to make sure it goes on the very, very tip of my natural nail. Then using some scissors, I cut as close to the shape that I want. And again, using my left hand here, so it's painfully slow. And we'll fast forward. Okay, now once the trimming is done, once the trimming is done, I use my clear and I apply the base about halfway on the nail. I want a half layer of clear, and then I'll do a second step, 3/4 of the nail, so a 3/4 of clear. So 1/2, then 3/4, just to make sure that you have a good build up of your tip and it doesn't mess with your apex. It slowly builds up onto your nail. I also turn my finger over and lay it flat because the tip is still so flimsy, and it's going to be flimsy until we activate it and harden that dip. I like to use a toothbrush to brush off the excess clear, and being very gentle because that tip is flimsy. And then here we go really quickly with the 3/4. And like I said, it's still flimsy, so you have to be careful. Now once you activate it, you're going to see that chemical reaction where it hardens it, and then that's where it becomes your tip. And you'll see it starts working within seconds. Right here I can barely bend it anymore, but I feel like it's a good idea when you first apply the activator to try and bend the tip a little bit, because as I said earlier, your natural nail kind of curves. It's not just flat at the tip. So if you start to kind of bend it while the activator is starting to work, it keeps that, kind of gets it to a natural nail shape. You can see after these few seconds it's already hardened. Right here it's completely hard. And it's very, very thin. It looks just like a normal, it's so natural looking. And then I just dip as usual. Thank you for watching.